Now, for many business owners, the ongoing drive to be successful makes it incredibly hard to actually take a step back. John Sikkema knows this all too well. While working just about 80 hours a week, he suffered from burnout and nearly lost it all: business, wife and family. It forced him to reflect on what success really was, and it made him realise the importance of having a passion outside of work. To tell us all. Hi John, welcome to the program.
Hi Heidi.
So, you got burnt out?
Yes.
Was it you that identified it, or did someone else tell you?
Well, I have to admit that someone else identified it, and it was my wife, yeah.
So what were the symptoms? What was happening for you?
Well, I was basically working 80 plus hours a week, and I've always wanted to be in business, so it was my dream growing up, and my grandparents were in business, so were my parents, and so I went at the whole business thing pretty hard, and was quite keen to get out of school, and probably age 23 I went into my own business, and by age 26 I was in selling, financial planning or insurance superannuation, a bit of tax planning, and I'd been very successful at that, and then I moved into the financial planning industry and built a business with, became CEO, largest shareholder, and had about 50 staff, and had the dream house, the architect home overlooking a beach golf course, had a beach house, had the BM.
What,
jogging,
and you weren't happy?
I was happy, but the problem was I started getting migraine headaches and going home a couple of nights a week and going straight to bed and not eating with the family. Then we had the recession we had to have, the Paul Keating, and we were losing $25,000 to $30,000 a month. So I had health issues, financial issues, and then relationally I'd neglected my family somewhat due to this lifestyle and the pressure of building this business, and then with the recession. So that put me in a position that my wife said, John, you're not the fun guy I married.
Where are you?
Yeah, and you're basically a workaholic, and you're often not well, and you can't spend time with the family or me.
It's an interesting concept though, once things go a little bit pear-shaped financially, that really adds a huge amount of stress.
Yeah.
Without that, would you have still had the burnout?
I think maybe not quite as bad, because finance is a stress that most small business people have. So,
certainly.
And you can be travelling quite well, but there's so much competition in one thing or another. But yeah, finance certainly is a big factor. But still, I think we were growing apart, because I actually enjoyed the adrenaline rush of building and growing a business, and we were in Tasmania, and I wanted to build it across Australia, and so my ambition was probably also a contributing factor.
So do you think that burnout is just you, or you think this happens across the board for lots of people and we just are blind to it?
I think if you're a type A person, and if you're a driven person, an ambitious person, I think it's a tendency you will have, because one of the things I've discovered, and that was a changing point for me, was a lot of us aim to have life balance. The problem is, without being sexist here, a lot of women like their men to have life balance, but we're wired for adventure and challenge, and we don't necessarily want to have life balance. And what I found the answer for me was really finding a purpose that was greater than the vision I had for the business outside of work, and that brought it into perspective.
You were in a good position in that you were very financially sound and had the opportunity, didn't you, to sort of step outside the business and go and pursue a passion outside. Is that an option for everybody though?
Well, I wouldn't say that was true for me. At the point when I had what I call a defining moment, and also had a car accident, a wake-up call all at that time, I had a lot of debt, and the business had a lot of debt. So in my case, I think the financial side of it forced me, but the catalyst was my wife saying, well, if you don't change, I want a divorce, and we're running off to marriage counselling, and my view was, I'm not sure I need this, but I'll do it to help her, which is fairly typically male. So I was didn't have the self-awareness. So unfortunately, a lot of people need a health issue or a relational issue or a finance issue or a death or a cancer or something like that to stop them and make them think maybe I should be reprioritising or looking at things differently.
Is your journey now to help people to get those insights well before those defining moment, so that, you know, if we can get smart about taking some time out, finding a passion outside of work, well before we're sort of crippled by
exactly.
work,
Yeah.
that's the optimal result.
Yeah, well, I was really blessed. After I had that defining moment, which to me was a bit of a spiritual experience, I actually was hearing someone speak one day and they said, if I could find 100 people that could give me $1 million each, we could change this nation. And my heart leapt, and I recalled a dream I had when I was 14, and that once I was age 50, I wanted to dedicate my life to helping others. But between now and then, I just want to work and earn money. But I must admit, I forgot about that from age 14 till about 40, and that ignited an old dream that I had. And not long after that, I heard virtually an audible voice saying, John, I did not create you for you to be successful. I created you to help others succeed, and if you do that, you'll be truly successful.
That was very concise.
That was very concise, and that was a head-heart. That was a head-heart thing. And within an hour, I'd raced home and written down 13 things I wanted to change in my life. So that was and I found my purpose in that moment.
What about for people who feel very passionate about their work and really enjoy it? Yes, they spend a lot of hours at work, but they enjoy it and they get a lot of reward and satisfaction.
Yes. That's
passion, but at the same time, you can obviously drive yourself into the ground if you're not careful about creating some balance.
That's right, and that's why today, once I sold the business, because the business grew dramatically after that defining moment, even though I cut my hours back from 80 to 50. And so what I do today is help people coach to develop a purpose outside of their work, which is really a vision for your life. Now, shouldn't a vision for your life be more important than a vision for your business? Vision for the business is really important, but moving the vision of your business from here to here and putting the vision of your life there, and helping the fuel of your business fuel your life vision.
So, top tips. Let's just say I'm a stressed executive.
Yes.
How do I find this balance?
Well, I would say that probably one of the things to do is look for a mentor and a coach. Look for someone who's ahead of you on the journey that you admire and aspire to, and just be as determined to find that person as you are to succeed in business. So it means you might have to turn over a few people, but the turning point, I found a couple of people who I admired that shared my values that actually helped me sit down and plan and just develop a plan for my life in the same way as I had for my business. And by having that mentor and having that accountability, and I paid them as well. So I had that, you can have a mentor who just speaks casually, but having someone coach you as well. And one of the other things that I've found, to go and, rather than having another holiday, which a lot of executives do, they go and have a holiday, which is payback, and they're so stressed on the holiday anyway. We take people to a third world destination, in this case North India, and do leadership training.
Like a fun holiday.
which I didn't think would be fun, but it's life changing, and it's about helping them then get some perspective in life and realising maybe there's a philanthropic side to their life, and they can actually build that into their purpose for their business. So one of the things we did is we had a company conference in Thailand, and I felt so bad because we enjoyed the 5-star things there and saw so much poverty, so we decided at the next conference to raise money to build an orphanage. Now that changed the nature and the character and the culture of our company to actually give something back rather than just be there for profit.
So you've written a book called Enriched, Redefining Wealth,
yes.
And in this you talk about the concept of half-time.
Yes.
So is that basically, don't throw all of your time into the one task, try and give yourself balance?
Yes, it's about finding a purpose for your life and then helping and having your business support that purpose rather than letting your purpose in life take a back seat and in the end you forget about it. And yeah, that's really, and it's a bit of my own story about the mistakes I've made. I've put in there and shared those, and then said maybe you can learn from. I was pretty dumb.
Learn from these John's mistakes.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for coming on the program and for everything that you're doing to help give back.
My pleasure. Thank you, Heidi.
And